Wait until you see the level of detail that has been poured into this Tamagotchi remake in Dreams. Not only does it accurately portray the classic functionality, but it adds extra layers, taking it far beyond my expectations. I was blown away by the dedication. Let's take a look at exactly what I mean. Everyone has heard of a Tamagotchi, at least I would assume so. Back when I was growing up, they were this craze which was plastered everywhere. They were such a cool idea of having a digital pet which you could keep in your pocket and carry around no matter where you were. Play mini games to keep your pet happy, tidy up after them, nurse back to health, feed to beef them up, and ultimately, don't let them bite the dust. And that really was the hardest lesson of all, that even digital pets could perish if you didn't take good care of them. Quite the education for a child to understand responsibility and the effects of their actions. But it wasn't so easy to keep those little pixelated critters alive, considering that kids and adults alike have other pressing schedules, such as going to school or work. I remember rushing home from school every day, praying that my Tamagotchi had lived to fight another day. If I was lucky, I would be presented with a screen full of poop, a starving and ill pet, and sometimes even asleep to top it all off. It was a mad rush to rectify the situation before it all got too much. But those were the lucky days. Other days you would just find a lifeless, well, you get the idea. A brand new egg ready to nurture and start again. It's been so long since I've played around with a Tamagotchi, and I never really enjoyed the more modern iterations. So when I found out that my good friend Reckley Snipes was creating his own authentic version for his daughter, I was really excited to get my hands on it too. You can search for the Impgotchi now in Dreams, a faithful representation of the classic Tamagotchi device with a modern touch. The only limitation that I'll point out right off the bat is that due to how Dreams works, time only passes when you're actively playing. So if you leave and return at a later time, you won't notice any significant changes, making the time management aspect more of a one and done experience. A minor drawback, but I believe Media Molecule are working on a time gadget which would surely solve this issue. But with that aside, let's check out Impgotchi. The first thing you'll notice before you even hatch your little bundle of joy are the sheer amount of customization options. You can transform your device using the many buttons on your controller to change the colour of the body and the inner borders and buttons. Add some really cool textures, giving it a unique design, alter the physical material of the whole thing to perhaps add a metallic shine, add borders, stickers, even angel wings if you so please. This truly opens the door to a vast range of looks, which can all be shared by taking an in-game picture and uploading directly onto the Dreamiverse for others to admire. Once your Impgotchi has hatched, you're free to explore the full functionality of the device and do whatever you like. The three buttons, Switch Options, Confirm and Cancel, are mapped to the square, X and circle buttons respectively. Navigating the main set of options available from the top row, you'll be able to feed your baby imp a meal or a treat. Keeping their hunger bar full is key for healthy growth. Turn the light on or off if you'd like to offer extra comfort when they sleep. Play games, such as guessing games, which task you with guessing which direction the imp will face in a best of 5 rounds. Winning this will net you 50 points, which can be spent on prizes, but more on those later. The second game included is a fishing minigame, but it's more than simply fishing. It's a whole game in itself. There are a total of 10 different fish to catch, which are all caught completely at random. There's a tracker page so you can keep track of how many you've caught and how many types of fish remain to complete your collection. Each type of fish also nets you a particular set of points. Playing games not only gives points, but increases the happiness level of your imp. The final option on the top row allows you to heal your imp if it gets sick, but if you're like me and take extra special care, you'll never have to touch this option. The bottom row consists of a flushing mechanic when your imp has to go number 2, a stat tracker which informs you of your imp's life progression from baby, teen and adult, The weight of your imp is also included, as well as the hunger, happiness and love bars. The next option addresses that final bar, how to make your imp feel loved. Included are a bunch of loving and inspirational quotes to keep not only your imp on the right mental track, but also yourself. The last option allows you to farm points by rapidly mashing the confirm button to rack up a bunch of single points, but only once your imp is currently asleep. All of the points given through this method, or from the 2 minigames, can then be spent on a really stylish gachapon machine. Every 100 points allows you to spin the machine and collect a unique prize. There is a fun and detailed collection of 15 prizes to collect throughout the game. Duplicates are possible, so just as with the fishing minigame, you may have to grind out for a few of the final prizes, as was the case with myself. One final layer to add to the completion, there are a handful of achievements to obtain, from feeding your imp 50 times to catching all types of fish. It took me a good few hours to reach 100% due to some of the randomization, but I'd done it and it was a pleasure to do so, as it was a perfectly executed creation. On top of the design and visual tricks, everything worked flawlessly, a top quality polished dream if I ever saw one. Impgotchi has got to be one of the most technically accomplished dreams yet. I was blown away. It really resonated with my nostalgic side, and I'm sure anyone who has never experienced a Tamagotchi in their life will enjoy their first steps into it with this alternative. I've watched Reckley slave over this creation, so any support you can give him and his Impgotchi dream would be massively appreciated. A big thank you to our additional supporters through channel memberships and Patreon. Join us on our journey as we cover and create video games to inspire. Subscribe down below or on your screen now. See you in the next LBA video.